What is up, guys? It's JB Football, and today we're going to be doing my Euro 2020 predictions. The Euro starts tomorrow, and I'm really excited to see England bring this one home. If you're new to my channel, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment any tips and suggestions. And yeah, let's get right into the video. So let's get it started with looking at Group A. So for Group A, I have Italy finishing first, Turkey second, Wales third, and then Switzerland fourth. This is a pretty even group for me. You do have sort of a standout team in Italy, and Turkey is pretty good as well. But then I feel like Wales and Switzerland, there's not much separating them. So let's start with Italy. Italy look rejuvenated under Mancini. I feel that Insigne and Immobile will have a big part to play in this tournament if Italy want to be successful. I feel like they're going to score loads of goals for them. And then they also have a great midfield with the likes of Verratti, Jorginho, and then the guys from Inter Milan. But I do feel their defense is a little questionable. They got Chiellini and Bonucci, who are 36 and 34, and they're not getting any faster. They also got a Cherry, but he's also not that quick either. I feel like if they were to face an Mbappe or another fast player, they would just get ripped to pieces. They also got a hole at left back. Emerson, the third choice left back at Chelsea, who's barely played any minutes this season, is a contender to start at the Euros for Italy, which I see as a real weak point for them. But besides that, I think they got a really good squad. As I said, their attack and midfield looks great, and I definitely see them finishing first place in this group. Now for Turkey, I actually really like this Turkey squad. I see them as a little bit of a dark horse in this tournament. I love Burak Yilmaz, their striker, so much. He's 35 years old, he's got a shaved head, and he's just a beautiful man. I've watched a lot of Lille this season, his club, and let me tell you, this man's finishing is absolutely insane. His free kicks are perfect, his penalties are perfect. He just has that perfect placement and power on all of his shots. And oh my goodness, that goal against Lens, I think that's how you pronounce it, was simply incredible. That long shot was just a peach. And they also got a lot of youthful players. They got from Lille again, they got Çelik and Yaziki. I think that's how you say his name. Those two players are really good. They helped Lille with that title run this season. You also have Çalhanoğlu. He's going to run the midfield. He had a great season last season. And then, yeah, man, I just had I have these guys going far in the tournament, and I think they'll pretty easily finish second place in this group. Next, we have Wales and Switzerland. I see these two, as I said, as really equally matched teams, but I feel like it's going to come down to individual performances and who wins in the 1-versus-1 against them. I feel like just in that game, Gareth Bale is going to take over and score a couple goals. And then that young guy, I forgot his name, from Liverpool, he looks pretty good. Nico Williams also looks very good. I feel like the youth of Wales is really going to pull them through, but you never know. Sorry, Switzerland, you're coming last. Next, we have Group B, and this group was one of the easiest to rank. Belgium are miles clear of the rest of the teams in this group. I see De Bruyne, once he comes back from injury, he can really just have a huge impact on all the games they play. I feel that him and, of course, Lukaku, who is in the form of his life, will really just dominate in the group stage of this tournament. I feel De Bruyne will just feed Lukaku so many goals. They also got my man Eden Hazard, who could literally do anything this tournament. Yeah, I feel like he could re-announce himself on the world stage to be one of the best players in the world, or he could just be injury prone and not have much impact and have his little brother starting over him. It could go either way, but I'm leaning towards him as the captain, just taking over this tournament and being one of the players of the tournament. But I do have one concern with this team, which I'll talk about in the later stages of this video. It's the defense. Martinez is probably going to play a 3-back, and I see that not really working well with the center backs they have. Vermaelen, Alderweireld, Vertonghen, these are all pretty old players, and they're not that quick. Again, just like Italy, I could see like an Mbappe and any other players just running through them. Their wingbacks are also not the strongest. They do have Castagne, who had a great season at Leicester but suffered with a couple injuries, and then they have Meunier, who didn't have a great season at all at Dortmund, and I see him not having a super good season, although he does play really well with the Belgian national team. But besides that, they just have a super strong squad. As I said, that attack is great. Kevin De Bruyne is great. They got Tielemans, who had a super good season, being linked with a big money move right now, and they got Witsel, who over the past couple seasons that he's been with Dortmund has just looked like a really solid midfielder. So I do have Belgium finishing first in this group, and then second, I have Denmark. Denmark have a surprisingly strong squad. They are also kind of like Turkey, a little dark horse in this tournament. They have the likes of Christensen, Schmeichel, Dolberg, and Højbjerg, who are all great players, and they will definitely finish second in this group. I don't see either Russia or Finland really challenging them at all for that place. And then, as I said, next up, Russia. They did have that upset in the World Cup, but since then their squad has aged a lot. It's been 3 years now. They do have Golovin, who is a very versatile player. He looks pretty good at Monaco, but definitely finishing third. And then finally, Finland. They're probably the worst team this whole tournament. If you look through their squad, like, being honest, I did not recognize many of the players. One of them that I did recognize was Pukki. He's pretty good, but he only had 11 goals in his last Premier League season, which is pretty good. But I see him grabbing like 1 to 2 goals in this tournament, but I honestly see Finland finishing the Euros with 0 points. Next, we have Group C, which I see as Netherlands finishing first, Austria second, Ukraine third, North Macedonia in last place. Netherlands, I feel like, will coast this group pretty easily. They got a great attack led by Memphis Depay. I think we could see a lot of Daniel Malen in this tournament. He's looked good last season. And yeah, they are under one of the worst managers, in my opinion, Frank de Boer. And they are missing their key player in Virgil van Dijk, but this group is very weak, and I feel like they'll easily get first place. Next, we have Austria, led by David Alaba. I think they're a solid team. They'll get second place in this group, but I don't see them going much farther than that. I see their squad is just not being able to cope with other squads such as England, France, Belgium, and I don't really see them even being able to defeat teams like Turkey or Denmark. Third, we have Ukraine. To be honest, I don't really know much about Ukraine. I know Yarmolenko. I know Shevchenko. I think he's going to do well managing this team. But besides that, I see them finishing third. They might qualify for the next round, but I don't see them going far in this tournament. Finally, we have North Macedonia, one of the smallest and weakest countries in this tournament. They did have that upset against Germany, but Germany have looked really bad in some of the games of the qualifiers, and I just see North Macedonia finishing last in this group. They do have their captain, that like really old guy, 37, 35 I think he is, but I see them honestly only picking up 1 to 2 points in this group. Next, we have Group D, my team, England. If you didn't know, I'm English. I was born in America, but my parents are from England and all my family's from there. Anyway, it looks like an easy first place for my boys. I would want to be happily surprised and finish second, but that looks very unlikely. I really don't think it's possible with the other teams in this group, but hey, you never know. I will actually have a video coming out soon discussing England's squad and how I think they should line up, so stay tuned for that one. But yeah, I think we all know their strengths and weaknesses. Harry Maguire and Henderson right now, they're not looking likely to play because of their injuries, but England have a lot of good players, man. I think they'll do really well in this tournament. But the other three teams, I just see them getting blitzed by England. Moving on to Croatia, the guys that just knocked England out of the World Cup a couple years ago, but I don't think they're that good anymore. They're not as good as they were last time around. Two of their key players, Rakitic and Mandzukic, have retired, and a lot of their other key players such as Brozovic and Modric have gotten older. But they do still have that midfield of Kovacic, Modric, and Brozovic, which is super, super good. And they also got a decent squad all around, so that's why I see them finishing second. Next, we have Scotland. Scotland. They have an exciting squad with the likes of Robertson, McGinn, Tierney, and of course Billy Gilmore, who I see having a breakout tournament of sorts. But yeah, I see them finishing third, and I see them progressing on further from here. Finally, we have the Czech Republic. Honestly, they do have a good shot of finishing second, but I just don't see the depth in the squad that the others, like Croatia, like Scotland, have. They do have Soufal and Souček of West Ham, but I don't think those two players will be enough to overcome the other two teams in this group that they'll be competing with. Group E now. Spain looked like it would be easy top a couple days ago. They topped the group super easily, but with this corona crisis happening, I'm not really sure if that's going to happen, because I have no idea really the situation. I just know their captain is not at the tournament with them, and the person that replaced him has now tested positive and is in isolation. But I think they still got quality, even if they have to play their under 21 side. But I do think I've heard that a lot of their squad could be returning, so this should be an easy first place for that Spain squad. They got good players. They're going to play that Spanish football, possession, quick passing, and they've got a good midfield. But I just have a little bit of worry about all that corona stuff happening. And then second place, I do see Sweden getting it. It's going to be tight, but I see them getting it. I think Alexander Isak is going to have a big tournament. We've seen what he's done with Spain this year with Real Sociedad. He had a great season, and I think he will just take on that Zlatan sort of role for this team and really carry them to second place in the group. And in third place, I do have Poland, even though they have arguably the best player this year, Lewandowski. I don't think he's going to get the service he usually gets at Bayern Munich in this Poland squad, so that's why I have him finishing third place. I think he could have a pretty underwhelming tournament, if I'm being honest. But then again, he could be one of the top scorers and one of the key players in the tournament. Finally, we have Slovakia. I look at them as a little bit of a punching bag in this group. They could be. They just don't really have the quality that the other teams have. They got Dubravka in net. He's been pretty good for Newcastle, although he was injured for the first bit of the season. But the rest of their squad is just not up to par with the other teams in this group. So that's why I see them finishing fourth, and they might even get 0 points. Finally, we have Group F, the group of death. France, Portugal, and Germany have all won the last 3 major tournaments in the Euros and the World Cup. But I'm predicting this group like most people are. I have France finishing first. They just have the insane depth and insane quality. Honestly, their B squad might even be able to get first place in this group. The France talent pool is just, bro, it's scary. It's scary. And then for Portugal, they're going through a little bit of a golden generation as well right now. They got loads and loads of quality and super talented and young players in their squad as well. We're going to see the likes of Ronaldo. This might be his final international tournament, which will be sad, but I think he'll want to help lead these younger players and prove a real captain's example. And then they got one of the Premier League Player of the Seasons in Ruben Dias leading that defense. They got other defenders like João Cancelo, and they got a great midfield. They got the Bruno Fernandes, and they got some other players, but I do see them finishing Silva in this group. And then Germany, what a fall from grace they've had. Going from world champions in 2014 to now, losing to North Macedonia and losing that 5-0. It's just crazy what they've been through. They got it rough right now. So I see them finishing third. I do think Kimmich will have a pretty good tournament, but I don't think Joachim Low is one of the best managers in this tournament, and he doesn't really know how to set up his squad properly. If they want to try and push on in this tournament, Timo Werner is going to really need to find form. I think Kai Havertz is a great player. He scored in that Champions League final, but I don't think it's going to be enough to overcome Portugal and France in this group. Finally, we have Hungary. No one expects them to get out of this group. I don't even think Hungarians do. They got that good goalkeeper, Galaxy from RB Leipzig, but that's about it. I see them finishing last in this group with definitely 0 or 1 points. Now we got the groups out of the way. Which third place teams will move on? I got Wales, Ukraine, Scotland, and Poland moving on. This may be a little controversial, but this is just who I think will go through. I see these guys picking up a couple points against the fourth place teams in their group, and maybe even a draw or a win against the first and second place teams. I think that Germany won't make it because those top 2 teams are so strong. I think they'll just absolutely destroy Germany, and then their last game is actually against Hungary, so the confidence might be shot and just maybe draw or lose that game as well. So that's why I don't have them going through. And then Russia, I just don't see Russia as a very strong squad in this tournament, and I think they'll drop out early even though they might get through, because it was pretty much a coin toss between Ukraine and Russia for me, but I just chose Ukraine because I think they have a little weaker group. Now it's time for the exciting part, the knockout stages. The first 2 games I got Belgium and Italy winning. Pretty easy stuff. They look like by far the stronger sides, and I think it'll be 2 quick and easy games. They can honestly play a couple bench players, still get through these games very easily. I don't see Poland or Austria having nearly enough quality or depth, as I said, and they just can't compete with the big boys. But hey, you might see Alaba start at striker and get a hat-trick, but I just don't see that. France versus Wales, I think it's a pretty easy game again. Wales, I'm sorry, you guys are good. I love Gareth Bale. I like their squad, but France is just a monster. They'll probably win this game 4 or 5-0. But Croatia versus Sweden is a little bit of a different story. I think this game is going to be really tight, and it may even go down to penalties. Zlatan will be a big loss for Sweden. He was really the heart and soul of this team when he played for them, and I think he would have been a real motivator and a great captain. But I think that Isak and Forsberg will really step up, as I said. in the group stages. I think they'll have like some sort of special connection. And then on the defensive end as well, I think they have Premier League proven quality in Kraft and Lindelof, and I think they'll be able to hold it down for a full 90 and maybe even a full 120 to a stalemate. On Croatia's side, they do have that quality, as I said, in the midfield. It's great, but I just don't see the potency in attack. I think a lot of the attackers are getting a little bit older. For this one, I see Sweden winning 1-0, 2-1, or going to penalties and winning it there. Spain versus Ukraine, even with the Corona stuff, I think it's still going to be a pretty easy game for Spain, and they will progress farther through this tournament. They just got the quality, as I said. A lot of these big teams facing smaller teams, I think, will be pretty easy. I don't think we'll see many upsets like England versus Iceland. I think that was just a bad situation. So yeah, I do see Spain winning this game easily. Now the England versus Portugal game, this would be a great game because, let's be honest, this game is probably happening. England's probably getting first in the group. Portugal's probably getting second. But this is probably one of the biggest games of the tournament. I think whichever team wins this game has a really good shot of winning the whole thing, or at least getting to the final. But as an England fan, I'm going to pick England. I do actually think they'll win. I think they got a little bit of a better squad. I think that we got more magic on attack, even though they do have players like Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo. But I think that England works as a system better. I think that they've had a little more experience altogether. I think this Portugal side, they haven't played together as much as I just said, and I think that'll play a key role in this game. I also see England playing a 3-back in this game, and that really absorbing a lot of the offensive pressure, and England being able to hit off quickly on the break with the likes of Sancho, Sterling, and Foden. And I also think that man Harry Kane is going to be in better form than Ronaldo and score a couple of amazing goals during this tournament. So I do see England winning this game. You may think it's biased, but the squads are so close, you could actually pick either of them to win this game. Now for the final set of knockout games, Netherlands versus Scotland. Scotland might be able to actually pull the upset on this one. As I said, they do have a good squad. McGinn, Billy Gilmore are going to have great tournaments, I feel like. As I said, for the Netherlands, no Van Dijk, they got a bad manager. Netherlands might crumble, but I think they have too much talent in their ranks. The likes of De Jong and De Ligt and all the other talented Dutch players. So I do think that they will progress. Denmark versus Turkey will be a great game. I see both of these teams as smaller nations that could be dark horses and make deep runs into this tournament. But I do have to back my boy Burak Yilmaz, and I think Turkey's going to win this game. Belgium versus Italy now. I see this being a goal fest, and it could really go either way, but I have Belgium. I think that both defenses will not be able to absorb the other's attack. Jorginho may be able to cover the center backs a little bit more, but then I just see Lukaku, Hazard, and De Bruyne really just running right through Chiellini and Bonucci and Emerson, and I just see it being like a 4-2, 5-3, and maybe even a 5-4 in this one. Sweden versus France, again, like I said, for all the other games that France have played in, it's just really no contest. France are going to easily win this game. Sweden may be able to put on some pressure, but I just see that midfield, that attack, and that defense of France having no problems with Sweden. Now for Spain versus England. Spain have done really well battling through this corona crisis if they make it this far, but I do see England beating them in this one. England do have a stronger squad, even if Spain have all their players, and I just see England going through and are at the semifinals now, baby. With the Netherlands and Turkey, I have to back my boy Burak Yilmaz again. This is where I actually see the Netherlands crumbling, and you really will see the lack of Van Dijk and the lack of a good manager in this one. I do think if Van Dijk was here, this game would have been over, and it would have been Netherlands easier. But without him, this team just looks totally different, and I see Turkey being able to take advantage of that and winning this game. Now for the semifinals, Belgium versus France. This will be a tasty one. But I do see, as I said, France just running right through this whole tournament and winning this game. I mentioned earlier the Belgium defense is kind of slowing down a little bit, and I don't think they're best suited to play the formation that Martinez likes to play. As I said, Mbappe and the quick players like Dembele and Coman will just be able to run in behind this defense so easily because of their lack of pace, and I think that the Belgium attack will N'Golo Kante will be able to suck the life out of them and really stop them from putting together any big moves. So now France will be heading to their third final in a major tournament in a row. So now that France have made it to the final, they need an opponent. Their opponent's going to come from that England and Turkey semifinal. I've raved about Turkey all this tournament, but I think their time has come to an end. I think England will win this game against Turkey convincingly. I think England have a much better squad. They got much more depth. And I think Turkey will be playing a lot of their starters every single game. And they'll be more tired than England. England will be able to breeze through a couple of the games leading up to this, besides that Portugal one. And Turkey will have to put their hearts on the line and throw everything at these games, whereas England will just be able to breeze through. And also England's just got more talent. Sancho, Foden, Mount, Kane will be able to take advantage of that weaker Turkey's backline. And I think this one's not even going to be close. I'm saying 3 or 4-0, 5-1, one of those things. I think England's going to score multiple goals, and it's going to be England versus France in the Euro 2020 final. So now we're in the final. Will it come home? Will it be coming home? Yes, it will. Or that is what I am very optimistically predicting. To be honest, this final could literally go any which way. It could go France's way, it could go England's way, it could be a blowout on one side, it could be a blowout on the other. Both teams have enough talent to beat the other one. You could see England winning 3-0 or England losing 3-0. It could be a penalty shootout. It could literally go anyway. I imagine France will be the favorites, but I'm going to back my country, and I'm going to say England's going to win the Euros in 2021. I know a French person would probably differ with me, but I just have that belief that it's coming home. So let me know if you have England or France winning this tournament. So this is my full final bracket right here. And yeah, let me know what your predictions are and what predictions I got completely wrong. Some of these countries I didn't know that well, so I just kind of looked at their players and looked at their recent form and stuff. But if you're an expert in one of the smaller countries or less talented countries, as people would say, please let me know about some of your star players, some of your old players, strengths and weaknesses, how good your manager, and how good you think you will do. So those are my Euro 2020 predictions. Please let me know some more video ideas. Remember to like and subscribe, comment any tips and suggestions, and share with your friends. And that's all I got for you. Thank you a lot. Peace.